So first of all, there's a command in Linux called OpenSSL. And there's a kind of a CLI you can get into, but I'm just going to try to just use the command line without getting into the CLI. So to clear your screen, Control L. I'm going to try OpenSSL S client connect a www.seller 443. And what are we going to get back? Question is this a valid certificate? Are we going to, do we expect, if we went to the website, would we expect to see any certificate mismatch or anything like that? That's what we're trying to get out of here, out of this question that I'm asking. Hit enter, and as you can see, it dumps out the certificate chain from Akamai, blah blah blah, and here's the second certificate, but it doesn't tell us like things like the CN of the certificate itself. We have this big certificate, great, but yeah, it doesn't give us all the information I really want. So what I can do is then pipe it to OpenSSL again. I can say X509 text and pipe that to less. So if you we didn't get into in my bash reminders of how to pipe things. Pipe sends the output of this command, OpenSSL, into this other OpenSSL command. And as you can see, I have some typos. Let's see what we get out of that. So here is, it figures out that, hey, all that other junk, it doesn't really need, it took the certificate that was printed out and showed me the text of the certificate only, not all the other junk. So we see here that the issuer, again, is Verizon Enterprise Solutions. I don't think we got this detail in the last one, but if we did, hey, this is a confirmation that the CN, the subject of that certificate, is what's going to be what will be matched against the URL in the address bar. So it expected us to go to a248.e.akamai.net. Had we gone to https:// this address, we would not have gotten a cert mismatch, but as is, we would get a cert mismatch. The only exception to that is if there is a subject alternative name field in this output. Let's look for it. And I don't see one. So here's the certificate again. Let's take another website. Okay, we're going to go to usg.edu, and we see that the CN is www.usg.edu, and it's a nice GeoTrust cert. Not scrolling down for me. Why is that? My screen seems a little delayed perhaps due to trying to broadcast video at the same time. Welcome to our 2 viewers. I'm hoping that by doing it this crufty backwards way of broadcasting that I'm actually getting a recording out of this. So finally it moved along. Looking for a subject alternative name. I don't see one. Well, if it has one, you know, the alternative name might be usg.edu, so that whether you go to www.usg.edu or usg.edu, you won't see a cert mismatch. Also, in the thing above, you can also tell when that certificate expires. You see the not after field, and that's GMT. So just because you see 7:30, that's first of all in 24-hour format, and it's GMT. So it might say something like April 9th, and you're thinking, oh, great, I have until tomorrow to fix this. But pay attention that you're 4 hours behind GMT, so, you know, plan accordingly. There's lots of other things you can do with OpenSSL. So you can generate your RSA key, or you can generate your key. You can request a certificate from the, you can generate like a certificate request to be submitted to DigiCert or Namecheap or GeoTrust or Komodo, any of those. So they'll then return you a private or a public key certified by them, so that then your browser will be recognized by that. You can change the password on a private key. Generally speaking, you're going to want to not put a passphrase on the key itself. Otherwise, you'll have to set up your web server. Usually, you're going to use a key with a web server. But, you know, there's other uses for them. But if you have a passphrase on it, you're going to have to somehow tell the web server what the passphrase is, so that it can start automatically. And you know, there's in Apache, there's a command to allow you to do that. There's kind of a directive in the apache.conf file to allow that, but just don't set it. I guess maybe somebody can correct me on that idea. All right. Yeah. So SClient, it's really what I wanted to show you. It's great for seeing whether a certificate is valid. You can also do other options like print, what do you call it? Print certs. That was obviously wrong. Show certs. And you can also do this thing called verify. Where is that at? Turn on peer verification, and I think verify is the number, the depth that you want to verify that certificate. Okay. You notice now I see two certificates, not one. I see the one that the server is using, but I also see its parent certificates. So I can go in with OpenSSL X509 and view the text on each of those, look at their expiration dates and whatnot. Let's try that verify again. Verify only works if you it knows where your OpenSSL like key store is, if it knows where the valid certificates that you trust are. So let's just see if what it says. See how it says unable to get local issuer certificate? That's because I didn't give it a path. So let's do OpenSSL X509. There's another one that's like CA path. And that would allow you to specify where your directory or file full of trusted certificates is. So once I specified that response, instead of being unable to get local issuer certificate, it would be valid OK. So then I would know that my certificate, the entire certificate chain is good. And that's the end of this tutorial. I'm sorry it was a little jumbled. I'm not familiar with this Hangout recording on air. I hope it was recorded and that you found some use in it.